Hello, Sport fan. This is Steven here with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. We're going to be covering the worst head coaching hire of all time. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. I want to make sure you also have the notification bell on, so every single time we have breakdowns here at Sports Choice Plus, you can get the update. Without further ado, let's go right into it. Looking at one of the most peculiar choices in the history of the NFL, when you start to look at a team that this season got so much out of a team that was in the middle of the water last season, and you look at just how not only a head coaching hire can steer a team in the right direction, a head coaching hire can galvanize a franchise, it can galvanize a fan base, especially on the NFL level. When you get a coach that's proven, when you get a coach that's unproven, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to come of it. The building's a bond between quarterback and head coach, quarterback and head coach and running back, head coach and wide receiver. For the history of the NFL, you have certain players that bond with coaches. You have certain players that elevate their game when coached by certain players. But do you ever hear about the horror stories about the coaches de-escalating players' value, de-escalating players' ability to get the best out of themselves? Last year, one of the most peculiar hires was done in the NFL. And I think that we need to shine a little light on it because, the team this year, under a different coaching regime, has so much more to offer. It's so much more life, and it is on the brink of a playoff entry. When you look at a team going 3-14 last season, to the helm, the head coach was responsible for 2-11, but they finished 3-14 altogether. So you look at one additional win, 3 additional losses to make it 14. But one of the worst coaching hires I've seen ever. Not only this season has the team bounced back, but the quarterback looks like, he looks like a QB1. He looks like the guy that we saw in college that led Clemson to college football playoffs. He looks like the guy that's elevating guys around him, that's taking this offense and elevated it and made it to where this team is no longer a doormat in the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson have elevated this franchise's season to 8-8. When I look at last season, I look at the fiasco that happened in Cincinnati after the football game was over. Looking at kicking the punter or the kicker. Looking at not knowing who Aaron Donald is. It's a number of laughable stories that we can all put in a pot and stir it up and say, this is what we can point to. But the worst coaching hire in NFL history has to be Urban Meyer. From the lack of playoff potential to the lack of his team even having something good to do on the field, to a number of things, to the worst practices you're hearing about in history, to a number of darts that you could throw on the board and just let them stick. Urban Meyer is possibly the worst coaching hire in NFL history. Just look at the stats, look at the data. And it wasn't just because you got a first-year guy. Mistakes happen all the time. Issues happen all the time. Bad seasons happen all the time. But this team looks like a different team altogether. I blame Urban Meyer. Yeah, you have your Bobby Petrinos. You have your guys that have been hired that didn't last more than you have your Hackett's, like you had in Denver. You have your guys that just don't work out well on the NFL level. You have your guys that have stayed there for 2-3 seasons that don't work out, that are bad hires as well. But you don't see coaches hired from college that often flail like that. What do you guys think? Who's the worst coaching hire in NFL history? I think it's Urban Meyer. Just looking at the Jaguars' success and what they're able to do, and potentially if they win against the Titans they're in, it's Urban Meyer. Leave your comments in the comment section. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus for all the breakdowns and all the updates. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.